Prejo began volunteering last year to help COVID patients with their various needs. He helps COVID patients with funds for medicines, getting admission in hospitals, food, and many such requirements. Prejo has raised 20 lakh rupees so far for his cause by taking donations through social media. With the funding, he has arranged oxygen concentrators for hospitals and NGOs. He has also helped people with hospitalization when there was no ambulance service available. NewsX proudly recognizes second wave superhero Prejo TJ. Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX. I'm Aarti Krishnan. On today's episode of Second Wave Superheroes, I have with me Prejo TJ, who is a volunteer who goes ahead and helps people who are fighting COVID. He helps them with finding beds, oxygen. He helps give people resources, provides food for COVID patients, and helps them with admission process for hospitals and a lot more. Let's hear from him. Prejo, tell us about the service you do and the work you do on a daily basis.
So I've been helping people the second wave, mostly with the medical emergencies. So I started this last month, 23rd, and it started with helping people with bed availability. That's where it started, and then slowly it went on to helping people to get remdesivir. There was a whole lot of drama happened here in Chennai to get remdesivir. So standing in the queue for almost 14 hours and getting remdesivir for people like pregnant women or senior citizens and mothers with infants. So I was started helping these people to stand in the queue and get remdesivir. And then slowly also I started helping people with regards to those who cannot afford to buy remdesivir, helping with the costs, the expenses of it, and then taking care of admission process. So many of these patients and family, they go through a lot of panic and trauma and stress. They don't know what to do. There's a huge queue to get the bed at the outside hospital. So I kind of take care of the process, be with them, be like a moral support, do all the conversations, interactions with the hospital to get the bed. So help them with the process. And also for those who cannot afford, taking care of the hospitalization bills and charges. And if there's a death, okay, I mean, unfortunately, there's a death again, taking care of that, those formalities, those process, what has to be done, what documents required. So entire thing I've been taking care of. And I've also been raising a lot of funds to help people. So that's how I was able to help people to get either remdesivir medicine or any medicines, or even take care of the hospitalization charges. And now I'm also buying concentrators, oxygen concentrators, getting that and giving to different hospitals where they are in need of oxygen, because there's a huge shortage of oxygen in Chennai. By giving oxygen concentrators, the liquid medical oxygen and the decylinder oxygen can be used for the ICU and ventilator cases, and oxygen concentrator can be used for the non-ICU cases. So that's kind of stabilize the whole scenario, and also the hospitals can take in more patients. So these are different things I've been doing since last month, 23rd.
Right. Also, you said that you were raising funds. So, do you raise funds through social media, or how do you go about it?
So completely on Instagram, I've been putting up stories and pictures and posts on Instagram. So thankfully, a lot of people have been contributing left, right, center. So I did a lot of COVID work last year as well. So I think because of that trust and experience, people have been contributing, and many celebrities from Chennai also been helping. Like for example, Pradeep Kumar, who's a singer in Chennai, he went on Twitter. He sang for almost 5 hours, talking about this issue and highlighting it, and he was also raising funds. So likewise, quite a few celebrities have pitched in also to raise funds and to contribute. Otherwise, completely only on Instagram and Twitter, no payment platform. And as of now, I've raised about almost 20 lakhs, and with that, have given about 30 concentrators, oxygen concentrators for hospitals and NGOs, and also have taken care of hospitalization charges and medicine charges for those who cannot afford. And
Right.
this pure happen because of all those people who've been contributing across India and from other countries.
Right. Could you also take us through your day and tell us what it typically looks like?
Typically, it looks like the emergency calls start as early as 6:37 in the morning. So as soon as I get the call, I find out where the bed availability is. Now, many times you cannot really completely trust the link, the websites, the links, or whatever information available, because, for example, if I find information that bed availability is there right now, 5 minutes later it becomes outdated, because that's the kind of need right now. That's the kind of or the number of people waiting outside the hospital to get a bed. So you cannot completely rely on the information which is there on links or websites or the helpline numbers or the volunteer group information. I mean, they all are trying to do their best. It's just that information, it's changing by the minute. Okay, so one has to really go to the hospital to find out whether bed is there or not. So that is how I started going to different hospitals to find out where there are beds and is it really there. So multiple visits to these hospitals, have some kind of interaction. I'm able to help people. So immediately, as soon as I get the calls, I step out, I go to different hospitals, find out where there are beds. And based on that, I help that family to get the ambulance and come to that particular hospital, because there's no point the patient or the family, they leave their homes in the ambulance, and no point going from one place to another place, no point hopping from one hospital to another hospital. And because of oxygen crisis, again, not all the ambulances have complete oxygen also. There are many cases where, patients have died because there are no oxygen ambulance, or people have been waiting outside the hospitals and the condition really worsened and they've died. So the whole idea was how to help in that process, how to ensure I can easily find the bed, by checking in person, not via links or not via phone calls, because hospitals also stopped taking the calls. Right, they were getting way too many calls. Different people are calling right center, so they stopped taking calls. So that is why in-person confirmation is a solid lead, solid information. So that's what I was doing, and also helping them, because they go through a lot of panic and trauma and stress. They don't know what to do. They're not thinking straight. So just being there and helping them the entire process. So that I do, and if in case I also get calls where I've been asked to pick patients because they don't have ambulance. So with my car, I go, and that's the car. So everything, I've been doing it with this car. Be it taking concentrators, be it picking up patients whenever there's no ambulance. I pick patient, I go drop them. And there are cases where I go, deliver cooked food for quarantine patients. See, bed availability, oxygen crisis is the first top issue. But once a patient gets admitted in the hospital, they have been isolated from everybody.
Right. Thank you so much for the service you do, Prejo. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Aarti. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.